Shalom lechol hamazinim. Shalom to all the listeners. This is Noga Avar Benel, and today I'm going to read the parasha. Actually, it's two parashot. It's Achrei Mot and also Gdoshim. We recorded this session before, but accidentally it was erased, so we are re-recording it now. So I will start reading from Amos, but before that, this parasha is from Leviticus chapter 16, verse 1 to 20, and verse 1, 20 to, what am I doing? It's Leviticus chapter 16, verse 1 to 20 and 27, Amos chapter 9, verse 7 to 15, Ezekiel, sorry, chapter 20, starting verse 2 to verse 20, and 22 verse 1 to 19, then Hebrew chapter 9, verses 11 to 28, and 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 13 to 16. And I'll read, as I said, from Amos chapter 9, verse 7 to 15. הלא כבני כושים אתם לי, בני ישראל, נאום אדוני. הלא את ישראל העליתי מארץ מצרים. הנה עיני אדוני יהובה בממלכה החטאה, והשמדתי אותה, ופלשתים מכפתור וארם מכור, מעל פני האדמה, אפס כי לא אשמיד את בית יעקב, נאום אדוני. כי הנה אנוכי מצווה והניאותי בכל הגויים את בית ישראל, כאשר ינוע בחברה ולא ייפול צרור ארץ. בחרב ימותו כל חטאי עמי האומרים לא תגיש ותקדים בעדנו הרעה. ביום ההוא אקים את סוכת דוד הנופלת, וגדרתי את פרציהן והריסותיו אקים, ובניתיה כימי עולם, למען ירשו את שארית אדום וכל הגויים אשר נקרא שמי עליהם, נאום אדוני עושה זאת. הנה ימים באים, נאום אדוני, וניגש חורש בקוצר, ודורך ענבים במשוך הזרע, והטיפו ההרים עסיס, וכל הגבעות תתמוגגנה. ושבתי את שבות עמי ישראל, ובנו ערים ונשמות, וישבו ונטעו כרמים, ושתו את ינם, ועשו גנות, ואכלו את פריהן. ונתתם על אדמתם, ולא ינטשו עוד מעל אדמתם, אשר נתתי להם, אמר יהוה אלוהים. אדוני אלוהיך. Amen. Now, Michael will read this portion in English.
Amen. So Amos chapter 9, verses 7 to 15. For you are as children of the Ethiopians to me, children of Israel, saith Adonai. For I brought up Israel out of the land of Egypt. Behold, the eyes of Adonai Yehovah are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it, and the Philistines from Kaftor, and the Syrians from Kir, from off the face of the earth. However, I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, says Yehovah. For lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, like as corn is sifted in a sieve. Yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say, the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. In that day I will raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old, that they may possess the remnant of Edom and of all the nations which are called by my name, says Yehovah, that does this. Behold, the days are coming, says Jehovah, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper, and the treader of grapes him that sows seed. And the mountains shall drop sweet wine, and all the hills shall melt with joy.
Amen.
And I will bring again the captivity of my people of Israel, and they shall build the waste cities and inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards and drink the wine thereof. They shall also make gardens and eat the fruit of them. And I will plant them upon their land, and they shall no more be pulled up out of their land which I have given them, says Jehovah your Elohim. Amen.
Amen. Amen and amen. So as we know, prophecies are given for different times. Some prophecies took place immediately or very close to the time when they were given, and some happened later. Amos lived before the exiles of Israel by the Assyrian. And the beginning of chapter 9, Amos gives terrible prophecies to Israel. He wrote that God is promising he will destroy all the beautiful country the Israelites had and all the glory they had. All the nation will be scattered. And and he will and it will be desolate, and the dynasty of the house of David will be reduced to so that it will be like a shack, like sukkah, like almost nothing, like desolation in the field. And that prophecy took place already. The nations is scattered all over the globe to the point where they lost their identity. It is as if the Lord said, you want to be like the other nations? Then have it. But then Amos writes that God is going to restore Sukkah David, the Sukkah of David, and that is the tabernacle of David. And that it is what God is doing actually right these days. Many people report that they are from the tribes of Israel, and David reigned over all Israel, not over just over Judah, and God is doing it right now. Same is with Paul's writing, he writes to the Ephesians in chapter 2, starting verse 2, and he says, where is time past, you walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the air, of the power of the air, the spirit that now works in the children of disobedience. So Paul was talking to such people who were ruled by the prince of the air in the past by telling them that God is rich in mercy for his great love for them, even when they were dead in sins. He had quickened them together with Christ, that is the Messiah. Of course, that applies to us as well. In the past, we were ruled by the prince of the air, but now we are saved by the grace of God. Yeshua, the King of Kings, took over us. He defeated the prince of the air for us who follow him, and also to all the world, all those who call by his name. He will capture all the people on earth. In time, when time comes, every knee shall bow and every tongue will confess that Yeshua, Jesus, is the ruler over them. They will accept his rulership and believe in it. As written, we are one with him, and as he is one with the Father, he asks us to be one with him, just as he is one with the Father. As long as we feel we are ruled by the prince of the air, we are going to be oppressed. We will hover between life and death. We will shine one day and feel wretched the next day. So let us run with patience the race that is set before us, looking unto Yeshua, the author of the finisher of our faith, and to who, for the joy that was set before him, endured the cross, despising the shame, and it sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. Yeshua is beyond suffering now. You know, we keep seeing him uh, slashed and bleeding and hanging on the cross, but he is beyond that now. He has the joy, the victory that he delivered us. And if we let ourselves to be consumed with unhappiness, doubt, worries, we will take away the joy that he suffered for. So let us visualize him, visualize Yeshua smiling, you know, not covered with the blood. He's smiling upon us now and blessing us. We are under Yeshua's leadership now, and we are to consider him and only him, see him in our minds hovering over us, his hands stretched over us, encompassing us. We are under his wings, his kingdom, uh, uh, under his kingdom. And when we do that, we will see what is happening there in that kingdom that he is ruling. And we will feel part of it and be transformed to what his kingdom is like. As I wrote one of my devotions, being with God is like listening to a song or a symphony. At first, we hear the main singers and the main instruments, but as we listen to it over and over again, we start to hear the background and the harmony, and we become most intimate and acquainted with the symphony or with the song. So when we shift our eyes to the kingdom of the prince of the air, which is the evil, the devil, and see what is happening in his kingdom, we will be contaminated. It will the pictures will stay in our mind and it will disturb that. We won't be as happy as we should. So also we can see ourselves in the mirror, you know, um, uh, and that is not pleasant. It tears us apart because you know it will cause a battle in our mind. We human beings adopt what we see. We are like monkeys, you know, and what we see gets into us. It is very important to visualize Yeshua in our inner mind, hovering over us, protecting us. He is the Prince of Peace now, and he is our Prince of the air, if you want to say, and as well as we are to see him in our minds while we are reading his words, his instructions. If I'm learning anything now, is that the Prince of the air tries to convince us, the followers of Yeshua, that he is in charge. He is in charge of us, that we are sinners, we have sinful natures, that we are under his rulership. Let us never accept that. Let us never agree with that, because we are born again, free from previous life, a new creation in Yeshua. He washed us and sanctified us and delivered us out of Egypt. We are not in Egypt anymore. The Egyptians' God are not our gods anymore. We are not seeking their sexual immorality or their leaks. Just as Michael was saying, you know, he asked if you're out of Egypt. You know, if someone is still in Egypt, if he feels that he's in Egypt, please don't let yourself be troubled or your heart be troubled. Just ask Yeshua to deliver you and receive the joy that he died for. Even the thought that displeases the Lord sent shivers in King David's body. He described it in Psalm 119, verse 120. My flesh shivers for fear of you, and I am afraid of your judgments. I suspect that all those who want to please God may feel the same way. I know I do. And it is good to acknowledge that. All curses and bad prophecies uttered over people in the Tanakh do not apply to us because all have passed away, new things have come. We are living in a different era. We are a new creation in Yeshua. Amen. Shabbat Shalom.